So I knew midweek last week that there were some people planning to protest my Lacey meet and greet. I didn't mention it on the air because I thought I'm not going to give more attention to it because that'll just make it worse. But we were monitoring it throughout the week. It was circulating in some Antifa groups in Olympia. I mean, that was the primary issue, right? Lacey's proximity to Olympia, where everyone's an activist. And I was being called anti-trans online. It was like, anti-trans podcaster Brandi Kruse is going to be trying to convince people to sign basically a referendum repealing a law, and she hates trans kids. That was essentially the gist of it. So anyway, we were in touch with police. I ended up hiring security. It was a whole ordeal. I will say overall it still went fine, but our friend Jonathan Cho, because he's at everything, anytime there's a protest, Jonathan Cho's going to be there. So Jonathan Cho let me know, hey, I'm going to drop by there and cover it. And so why don't we play for you Jonathan Cho's coverage of my event and the corresponding protest.
Why are you guys chasing me?
It's against the law. Did you know this? Did you know this?
Ma'am, you know you're physically touching me?
No, I'm not touching you.
Yeah, you are. You just hit my hands. See you.
You're welcome to protest. If you can just stay on the public property, that'd be great.
Why are you at this event, Brandi?
So I've been doing meet and greets across Western Washington. One, so people can say hello, but they also have an option to sign Referendum 101, which would send Senate Bill 5599 to voters. And that's really what this is about. It's about giving parents a choice.
Yeah, I think we're just, as parents, just so concerned that the state government would step in and try to take away our rights. This is not anti-trans, 100% parent rights.
Trans rights matter, parental rights matter, and I don't believe that the government has to erode one in order to boost the other.
We want parents to be able to love their kids and not have the government step in and hide them.
And so they need 200,000 signatures by July 15th. Only registered voters can sign, of course, and then it would go to the ballot in November if they get enough signatures.
Fuck yeah, according to.
You know, I had a nice conversation with a woman who came in beforehand, who's transgender, and we talked about the importance of having nuance in this debate and in this conversation. And you can support Referendum 101 and not be anti-trans. Now, do I think that there are some people who support Referendum 101 who are anti-transgender? Sure. I'm not one of them. I believe it's an issue of parental rights. But I will also say, I saw some young people out there protesting peacefully. As someone who loves the Constitution, I think it's great that young people, even if I don't agree with their sentiment, are coming out on a Saturday morning to exercise their First Amendment rights. That's America. That's a beautiful thing.
They're not disrupting your business so far.
So good. They're not disrupting their own public property, and they have that right.
And that's what I really want people to understand. At the end of the day, if the people of Washington decide to keep Senate Bill 5599, that's fine. That's how democracy works. But I think they should have a choice. Yeah, so that was my Saturday morning. I will say, though, great turnout. I think we had double the amount of people we had in Arlington, which actually was a surprise to me because Arlington is more so, I think, our people, like whenever I was on TV and we had like the ratings and stuff. And so I thought, just given the political makeup, and Lacey's so close to Olympia, but yeah, I don't know how much the protest contributed to that. I want to thank every single person who braved the line of protesters to still come into the coffee shop and sign the referendum. I know for some of you that probably wasn't easy. I also want to thank the owners of Cutter's Coffee Company, that location, because, you know, that's a hard thing for them to do. I had a conversation with the owner, Ryan, midweek, and he knew about the protest. In fact, he's the one who first alerted me to it. And I could sense in his voice, you know, a little hesitancy. He's got to look out for the safety of his employees. You know, as a business owner, do you want 50 people with signs about, you being anti-trans outside your business? But they stood firm. And, the message he gave to me is one we share a lot, which is we're not going to let reasonable people be painted as extremists. I'm not anti-trans. It's about parental rights.